Hello, everyone. I haven't really been paying attention to YouTube all that much, mainly listening to music, speaking to my friends Dusty Rugburn and Creamsicle on the Discords, and of course, writing the fifth story in my short story series and getting it ready for submission to the Bizarchives. But right now, I want to talk about a bit of YouTube drama because this really does serve a point that I was kind of thinking about for a long time now. And it's mainly in relation to hate. But before I would go into that, I want to talk about a certain gentleman, but I honestly wouldn't even call him a gentleman. I would honestly call him an inferior, but Iridium Kush. For those who do not know who he is, Iridium Kush is a quote unquote MGTOW creator who appeared around 2022. Now, the reason why I did put the MGTOW in quotes is because, well, one, he claims that he's been one since like 1996. The MGTOW philosophy was written somewhere around 2002 in 2006. So already he's off by about a good 6 to 10 years basically. And then there's the fact that he also claimed to be a MGTOW mentor. And since I'm someone who is kind of involved in that space and knows a bit about the philosophy, that actually kind of goes against what MGTOW is, because you, as a man, pick your path within a moral framework. No mentor. That is what MGTOW is. You, as a man, go your own way. That is what MGTOW stands for. Men going their own way. But later on, in September of 2023, a man by the name of Brandon Trueblood accused and alleged Iridium Kush of being a PDF file because he said something about how he has two 16-year-old prostitutes in Vegas lined up for his room on a stream of a Popolska Bob. This kind of snowballed into a drama where Iridium Kush, where he did have somewhat, or at least where he somewhat had room of innocence, kind of like blew that all away by pretty much practically burning every single bridge he saw, because, well, he went after everyone who was either associated with One Fast Stack or Brandon Trueblood, including those who were asking both of them questions about, okay, are these allegations true? Is there any true, actual hardcore evidence to back up your claim? He went after them as well, all because they kind of associate with him. This threw all claim of his innocence down the drain, because because when I was kind of paying attention to this, it pretty much screamed to me that, okay, this man is like most likely a PDF, basically. But now, 3 years later, he's still going after people within that space, more specifically figures such as MGTOW Outlaw. In fact, he actually goes after him the most from what I can recall, alongside Hammerhand and One Fast Stack, which may mind you, One Fast Stack called him out on his bullshit with the MGTOW philosophy for a long time, which is why Iridium Kush always hated him. But of course, he also goes after Rusty Rivers, who has also been calling him out on his bullshit. And then he also goes after people like Adrian Blantz, Johnny Midnight, and and godfather of Ramadi, all because, God forbid, they are associated with MGTOW Outlaw, which, again, he really did nothing wrong to Kush. Kush just really went after him. And there are also 3 other people in this. MGTOW Phoenix and Char Aznabal. They also called him out on his bullshit, pretty much trolling him. But there's also a figure by the name of Father Saunders. Now, people make jokes about him liking corn on the cob, but he likes to eat it the long way instead of the traditional way. Iridium Kush, for some odd reason, well, for reasons that won't be explained until later on in this video, never really saw those as a joke. And, of course, before I really get into it, there's also Good Mother and Beastalina, because they're also kind of important as well. But today, like a few hours ago, right as I was in a voice call with Johnny Midnight, MGTOW Phoenix, same as Outlaw, Iridium Kush posted something in his community tab where he talks about how Father Saunders takes good corn up his booty hole. And he linked a video to a bunch of Russian soldiers violating a Ukrainian man with a baton. And as I said with the whole, where he never really saw the whole joke as a joke thing, it's mainly because of his hatred. That's really it. It was mainly because of his hatred. And because he's also depraved. Because with this whole drama that has been going on for 3 years, I and others always knew that Iridium Kush has always been depraved, especially with how he talked about women. He always gave off a creepy, pervy vibe whenever he talked about them. And this time, when he was going after Good Mother and a Beastalina, he also gave off an extremely pervy vibe. But this video, this post he made, it truly shows how depraved he is. And now I want to talk about the whole main thing about it. His hatred for the people in this space, because I want people to understand this about Iridium Kush. He is ideologically, philosophically, and morally a leftist. He is all 3 of those. In other words, he's basically on a spiritual level a full-blown communist and liberal, basically. In fact, just to kind of show you how much of a leftist he is, he's a troon. So that also kind of explains how depraved he is. But with him posting this, he also made other posts a few days ago, pretty much wishing death upon people such as Rusty Rivers. But this post is just really depraved and just royally fucked, because with what he's doing right now, it kind of says something to me in that he wants the people who he hates on an extent, on what's the word, in a existential level, to be humiliated and then, offed. He has that much of a hatred that he has made it pretty clear. He wants every one of you MGTOW guys who are watching this video to be humiliated and then offed, because he hates you that much. And this is kind of why I laugh at a certain quote of a former friend. Well, not so much of a friend of mine because he backstabbed me, but he said, "I'm not gonna watch you burn yourself in hate." And yet, people like him, I can tell that he is, you know, philosophically speaking, more of a leftist, just like Kush. And yet, here we have Kush wishing death upon people who he despises, wishing grape upon people who he hates. Because he wants them to be humiliated and then offed. Because, well, they hate you. People like Kush hate you. And that is all I kind of really have to say because I am tired and I don't really have much words on my mind, but all I can say is people like Kush and others, they hate you. They want you to be tortured as you watch everything sacred to you burn down to the ground and get violated right in front of you before you yourself are offed. And Kush and others like him are proof of this. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Have a good night.